Hey, everybody, it is Coach Candace, and I'm excited to share this information with you. If you are new to my platform, let me give you a quick introduction just so that you know exactly who I am and how I am purposed to help you and support you. My name is Candace B. Woods. I deem myself the mindset architect, and I help kingdom entrepreneurs and servant leaders design, plan, and develop a compelling vision for their life and business. And then I help you, once you create that vision, I help you begin to create products and services that will help you begin to establish yourself into the marketplace so that you can create wealth and also products and services that will make an impact. So I'm excited to be here to share with you this information. For those of you who are watching, you've already pre-registered for my BIY, which means Book Inside of You self-publishing workshop. So I wanted to continue the momentum because I know we're excited to become authors in 2021. And I want to give you some tools that you can begin to implement and use to take action right now to begin to work on your book. And if you haven't started, that's okay. I want to help you get started, and I want to help you think through and start processing through this situation um, so that you can be productive, take action, and you can get it done, right? Because a lot of times we struggle with finishing because we don't have a good start. And I want to help you get started, get going, so that you can successfully become an author in 2021. I believe there's a book inside of you. The fact that you're here means that there's a book inside of you, and I want to help you get it done. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this content. Okay, I'm trying my absolute best to be very brief because I want to get you this information and get you started so that when you come to the workshop, that you'll already be prepared. You'll already be well on your way to getting your book completed, right? So let's get started. I want to share with you really quickly 5 tips to successfully plan your book. Okay. I think planning is everything in anything that we do, right? So if you succeed, if you plan to succeed, then that'll happen. But if you fail to plan, you're not going to be successful in this process. So I want to help you plan your book. So I'm going to give you 5 tips on what you can begin doing to get started. Number 1, find a time and place for extreme focus. Okay. So you guys, this process is going to take sacrifice. And so you're going to have to sacrifice your time. You're going to have to sacrifice, maybe even going out with other people. You're going to have to save some money because this process is going to take an initial monetary investment. And I'm going to teach you, if you stick with me, I'll teach you how to get a return on your investment at the end of all of this, even before you get your book in hand. Okay. But it's going to take time, and it's going to take an investment of your energy and your focus. Okay. So let's go ahead and designate a place either in your home or somewhere that you can dedicate time, energy, and focus to writing. Okay. So for some people, it's all about knowing yourself, knowing your habits. And so for some of us, it means just identifying when I am most alert, right? When am I most alert? When am I most active? So if you consider yourself a morning person, the morning before everybody gets started, the day gets started, to dedicate time and attention, not only to this book, but also in time with God. We are believers. And so it's important to make sure we're spending time with God, that we're praying to Him, that we are led by Him, and that He is feeding us the information that He wants us to write about. Okay. For some of us, the reason why we haven't gotten started, or we've started and stopped, is because in a lot of ways what we were writing about didn't resonate with our spirit man, and so therefore God is saying, okay, let's regroup. So that means we need to go back. We need to go back and we need to consult with him and make sure that this is where the direction that he wants us to go in. Okay, and that takes time, and that means that we need to get in a position where we are focused in, where we're hearing from God, and we're clear, and we're getting clarity and a sense of direction. Okay, that's important. Number 2, you're going to get yourself a book journal or a planner. Okay, this is important because you want to keep up with things over the process, and you want to make sure that you have a place to go when you have ideas, when you're brainstorming ideas, when you have thoughts and you need to write it down. You want to put everything in the same place. And if you're a digital person, if you value digital type products or apps or things, I use the note section on my phone a good bit. And I also use an app called Trello. Trello is very, very cool because it's almost like a great tool for project management. Okay, so any type of project that you have, any type of like presentation, if you're planning a presentation, it's a great planning tool. And so you can use Trello, Trello, in order to plan your book. Okay, so either get a book journal or get an app. But either way, you want to put all of your notes. You want to journal there. Some of us already journal, so this may not be a very difficult process for us. But I want you to designate a notebook, a journal, a planner of some sort where you can put everything that you need for this book process, and you want to use it throughout this process. Trello also has where you can you can create checklists. If you want to share some notes with other people, you can do it, and they can have the app and you can share it with them. It also works like things like Google Docs works as well. So either way, you need to have some type of tool that you can utilize in order to keep up with what you're doing, because you're going to be taking notes. You're going to be brainstorming. You're going to be asking yourself questions. So it's important to have a place that you can put all of this so you can keep up with everything, and you can kind of backtrack or go back to some things. It's just really important to have. Okay. So again, number 1, you want to make sure that you have a time and place for extreme focus. Number 2, you want to make sure that you have a book journal or planner or some type of app like Trello. Okay. Number 3, I want you to determine the main concept or theme of your book. Okay. So you're going to determine the main concept and thing of your book. Okay, what is your book going to be about? Is it going to be about you? Are you going to write a memoir? Are you going to do some type of how-to type of book? Are you going to teach a certain skill set? Whatever the case may be, I want you to think about what the main concept and theme of your book. Okay, now this also helps with what I call vision development, right? So you want to think about, who do you want to write the book for, right? And what do you want the book to be about? Okay. So you want to focus in on that, and you want to be clear about that and have a clear sense of direction on that. I'll give you more tips on how to do that in the workshop on next Tuesday. But I wanted to make sure that we are prepared and we're ready to go. And I know we're entering into a holiday weekend, but I still want us to make sure that we are prepared, that we get all of these things together, and that we are clear about how we're going to effectively execute, because I'm all about action and execution. I want us to know how we're going to effectively execute once we walk away from that particular workshop on Tuesday. Okay. All right. So make sure that you have a clear direction and determine your main concept and theme of your book. It's important to know that. So think about that and start thinking about that now. Okay, start thinking about that now. And another part of that is, when you think about, if you're going to write a book about yourself, think about, maybe even go back to a journal. If you journal a good bit, go back to your journal and identify just some common things or topics that you've talked about, that you've kind of dealt with or even struggled with. Y'all, let me tell you something, okay? Our pain can be used for purpose. And so even though sometimes we feel some type of way about some of the things that we've gone through, maybe we are still experiencing some level of guilt or shame or embarrassment about it. God can use all of that. Okay. And so sometimes the thing that we want to run from is the thing that God actually wants to use in this process to not only help us gain complete wholeness and healing through this process, but to also help other people overcome as well. My mantra, and one of the reasons why I'm a mindset coach, and one of the reasons why I do and offer the services that I offer, is simply because I struggled with my mindset. And so in coaching once, I was told or even encouraged and taught that the best way to overcome something is to teach it. Okay. And so a lot of the things that I talk about, I once struggled with, but because I put myself in the leader position now, because I'm one who values leading by example. Now I've educated and I've done the research and I've actually applied a lot of the things that I teach. And so now it puts me in a position of leadership where I can now teach other people. And that's what this process is really all about. And so if you are in a position where you are a coach or an aspiring coach, if you are a speaker, if you are a kingdom entrepreneur of some sort, if you are starting a ministry of some sort, a book is a great place to start in your journey. If you are already in have those platforms and you want to know how you can actually utilize your a book to actually leverage your visibility, this is a great place to start. Okay, so think about the main concept. Okay, if it's something that you're struggling with and you want to get in front of it, I encourage you to do a book and teach something about it. If you want to talk about your life, I also want you to include, okay, what are some things that you want people to walk away from after reading your book? Okay, so this is just a couple of things to help you identify your main theme or concept for your book. Okay. Number 4, ask yourself questions about the main concept or theme, right? When I wrote my book While I Wait, and I try to keep one, especially during this process, but this is my book. It's called While I Wait. And I'm going to teach you in the workshop everything that you're going to need on your front cover, your back cover, and everything in between. Okay, so we're going to go through all of that in the workshop. But this is the thing: when you are writing and when you're creating chapters, which is number 5, but you're going to ask yourself questions about the main concept. Okay, so these are questions that you're familiar with, right? Because at some point you've asked yourself these questions, or at some point you've actually researched these questions yourself. Now go back and do the same thing for your reader. And when you're determining questions, think about from the reader's perspective. What kind of questions would the reader would the reader have about that main concept or theme that you're talking about? Okay, my book is about purpose and it's called While I Wait. And I talked about my personal story on how I found my purpose after divorce, right? And I learned that I really should have gone and found my purpose before I got married. But it took my divorce to help me realize that. So I talk about that, and I talk about, my personal story in the first couple of chapters. And then I get into, I talk about the story of Ruth and how she actually found her purpose after loss. Right. And so how she began to walk and live out her purpose and was found as a result of that. And so because of my own personal story, I realized that I wanted to have a life, or begin to lead a life very similar to Ruth, where I started to just become purposeful and meaningful, focusing on me and focusing on becoming a better version of me, and not so much on being in a relationship. And so once I got that process down and I realized this was the concept or the theme of my book, I wrote about it, and then everything else I was able to put together and bring to life through the cover. Okay. And so having a vision for your book, understanding the main concept and theme, these are the things that we're going to talk about in the workshop. But I'm just going to go ahead and be honest with you guys. The best way to really and truly encompass that is in coaching with me. Okay. And so I'm going to offer you guys an opportunity to coach with me at the end of the process. I'm not even going to fake the funk. I'm going to do that. And so I want you to go ahead and be prepared for that. And I'll share with you how you can work with me and how I can help you get through this process and actually have a clear vision and direction for your book, because many of you are not just limited to just being an author. God is calling you to do greater and mightier things, right? And so the book is just the beginning for you, and I want to help you help see you through this process. And I'm going to share with you in the at the end of the workshop how you can do that. Okay, so ask yourself about questions from the main concept and theme, and then finally break down your book into chapters answering those questions. Okay, and so if you're struggling with, okay, well, what kind of chapters can I create, use one of the questions to answer to answer the questions and create a chapter from it. And then you also want to utilize quotes. You want to utilize sermons. You want to utilize do your research to utilize other tools that can help you get a point across. Okay. Again, we get into all of this in the workshop on next week, but I just wanted to share that very quickly with you, how you can actually go ahead and start planning your book today. You don't have to wait until the workshop on Tuesday. You can go ahead and start right now, taking action, getting your thoughts and everything out of you and onto paper and all that good stuff. Okay. And so my program, you guys, is the BIY Writers Lab, which is a part of my business academy that I launched back in April. But the BIY Writers Lab is just one of the programs that's in my academy. I'll be giving you more information about that at the end of the workshop. But I want you to understand that once you write a book, you're now becoming not only an author, you're becoming an entrepreneur. And it's important for us to understand the entrepreneurial space and how we can begin aligning faith and business, right? And so that is what my academy is all about. Again, I'll give you more information about that during the workshop. So it's going to be important that you are there, that you're ready to go, that you have your book journal ready to go along with a pen, or have your tablet ready to go with notes, ready to take notes, because this is going to be a very resourceful training to you. A lot of people say to me, Candace, you should be charging for this training. But I tell people all the time, that is not what I'm led to do just yet. I believe in giving people value. And so I want to offer this value to you all and share that with you. So let's make sure that we are in attendance. Make sure that you are checking your email, because I'm going to send you the link to your email on Monday and then again on Tuesday. And so I'm going to send that to you. Also, go ahead and make sure that you download the implementation guide and start reviewing that. Okay. Because it is, again, I give you a wealth of information and I give you my 5-step process. And if you follow the process from beginning to end, you can actually complete this book on your own. However, I encourage you to make sure that you are around other like-minded individuals who are going through the process as well. And so if you are someone who values coaching, especially group coaching, or even if you value one-on-one coaching, I'm going to share with you how you can do that on Tuesday. All right. And so I just wanted to share this information with you briefly. I am excited about the workshop on next week. Can't wait to see you there. God bless you. God keep you. See you then. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.